Hey guys, what's up? Log Horizon episode 14 was an incredible episode. And I mean that honestly. An extreme overload of information at that. I'm already telling you guys right now, I'm not going to be able to get everything out of my mind that I had encompassing this episode. There are definitely going to be some things amiss, some things left out. So if there are anything that I do miss out on that you guys wanted to hear, just let me know in the comments. I'll definitely get back to you guys in the comments, talking and discussing what I felt about those sections if I don't mention them in the review. However, this episode definitely pushes the boundary for a plot to start developing in terms of the apocalypse, in terms of what's going on with Shiro, as well as, the people of the land, the demi-humans, and, the history lesson that we get as well in this episode. This Regan guy, the scientifical scientist, this magical scientist, he's very knowledgeable from what we get in this episode. It seems he knows his shit, he knows what he's doing, and I'm wondering where he got that from his master, I guess. But he's very knowledgeable. He is a world-class studier, and we find out, it's very intricate, the scale of magic properties and distribution. We were introduced to the action class, combat class, going all the way down to continent and world class, which basically those are pretty much scales of magic that go from minimal to global proportions, whether it be one spell to decide the fate of an infantry fight or one spell to decide the fate of a country or a nation even. And I think that's crazy. But at the same time, as I was watching this episode, I was already piecing together what it was hinting towards. We inevitably get to the world fraction spells, and these are the spells that govern and change the fate of. They change fate, they change laws, they change the existences of societies amongst this game. We get this huge backstory of these four classes. These four races. You have the humans, the dwarves, the elves, and there's another one, I don't remember it, but they lived harmoniously. They were prosperous. They decided, hey, we're going to live amongst each other. We're going to be prosperous. We're going to abide by each other's, space and rules and stuff like that. However, the Alves, ALVES, were the ones who were like, they monopolized magic. They were the ones that had the tip and scale in terms of power because of the scale of magic, the classes and stuff like that. And eventually they were overthrown by the other three. Obviously, if you're going to be in a society with other people, you're obviously going to get overthrown because minds are going to wander, people are going to wonder what your intentions are, etc., etc. Which is why I can see where the people of the land and the adventurers are coming from now more than ever, because history is you're doomed to repeat history if you don't learn from it. So I think that's why I was really interested in this, in this backstory. And it turns out that, this war with the Alves took a turn for the worse, with the Alv society, civilization being destroyed and stuff like that. And it was due to their descendants. They were the ones that implemented the first world fraction, which was the birth of demi-humans, the goblins and stuff like that. And I feel like this is really important because every episode of Log Horizon gives you a little tidbit information of an episode. Like last episode, they mentioned the demi-humans, but the demi-humans weren't mentioned at all. It was only later on, now they're being mentioned, and I think now they're definitely going to be more focal going on from this episode, because we find out the demi-humans were the continuing threat of humans. At first it was the Alves and their magic and their society and stuff like that, and then they got taken down. And then the demi-humans, the goblins and stuff like that, they take over. And at that point, humanity is already fatigued, they're battle-torn, they're scarce in numbers and stuff like that. As we know, goblins, in small numbers, they're not a threat, but when they have overwhelming forces, that's where they can, give people a problem. So, leading up until that, we have, the adventurers showing up, which was told to be the second world fraction spell. Adventurers, obviously, as of right now, they are influencing the world immensely with the fact of food, with the fact of, information, and influence of creating items that were not in the world otherwise, things like that, and the ability to influence places depending on, status, with the round table being in effect and all that stuff. So everything leading up to that is amazing. It's incredible. It comes around full circle in a sense. And, we get a few other tidbits as well. We find out that in the world of Elder Tales, one day in the game one day and night cycle is 2 hours in the real world. And we find out that they have been in the game, they've been trapped in the game for the past 8 years. I want to say I don't know if they've been trapped in the game for the past 8 years, or if he's just been playing for the past 8 years. I think it's the latter. But that's also interesting too, because when we find out, Shiro's been playing this game for so long that he's been around since the beta, which is, the screen that you guys are seeing right now. But I think that's pretty cool. But the big point now, which is leading up to now, it was one of the questions that I was wondering what was going to be the stakes, what was going to be the risk. You got these people that are trapped in this game, they're trapped in this world, they have no risks whatsoever. If they die in the game, they don't die in real life like in Sword Art. They don't, at that extent, if they don't die in real life, what else is there? But now they have risks. Now they have their memories, their experiences. The fact that now if they die, we find out that, Psyche and Anima are really in depth with each other. I'm not going to necessarily go too much into detail because I do want to keep this review short. But I mean, you watch the episode, so you know just as much as I do. That now it is known that if you die in the game and you respawn, that's fine because you're still respawned. However, your experiences and your memories will slowly diminish to a certain extent. I don't know if it's every time you die it gets worse, or it gradually improves or gets worse or whatever, but that's very serious. The fact that if these people keep dying, they'll eventually see themselves as no more than NPCs. They won't remember the real world. They won't remember their names, their experiences, their loved ones, their friends, their families. The fact that this is a game and this is only temporary, that they have a real life and a real situation outside of this video game. I think that's very important. I understand, people will be like, oh, they couldn't have, life in a game. They can't have, oh, okay, so if you die in the game, you die in real life, so let's take the next best thing, your memories, your experiences, and stuff like that. People will say what they want, but I truly love this episode. That's pretty much the main focal point. At the very end of the episode also, we had, the noob squad, Toya, Minori, Rudy, and Isuzu, and they're going up into the dungeons pretty soon. I think Minori's actually going to put her foot down. She's going to take these kids to school in terms of teaching them what Shiro taught her about, being a leader, about being a team player, about, coordinating and having formation to succeed in the dungeons and not look like goof-offs. But, oh my gosh, dude, this entire episode was just amazing. But let me know what you guys thought. Anybody who's watching this video, if you've actually made it this far, please comment in the comment section. Talk to me about this anime. I want to talk to any and all people that have watched this anime up to now, because it's at this point that I'm really want to be engaged more so than ever. But that's all I got for this review, guys. Also, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I will definitely catch you guys next week for episode 15. Take care, guys. Peace.